Hello friends, in this session I am going to examine the political factors which are responsible for diverse and complex nature security threats of northeastern part of India. I will be explaining to all of you that how the political situation in the northeast, politics of northeast can also be held responsible for very diverse nature security challenges which are there in this region. You need to understand this in detail. So let us start the discussion on political factors responsible for security threats of northeast. And the first thing which I would just like you all to see, that if you look into the political map of northeastern part of India, you can very easily make out that most of the states in the northeast are not only smaller in area but also have less population if you see in comparison with overall country. I have told you in the beginning that northeastern part of India constitutes 8% of the geographical area of India, but it constitutes only 4% of national population. So I would just like you all to remember and understand this, that northeast, right, northeast constitutes only 4% of national population. And I would like you all to remember that most of northeastern states, they are smaller in area and with a small size of population, less population, and because of a small size of population, their representation in parliament is low. Okay, because in India, the representation in parliament, is low or less, whatever word you may use. And why they have low representation in parliament? Because in both the houses of parliament, whether it is Lok Sabha or whether it is Rajya Sabha, the representation is based on population. Let me just tell you on factual note that in lower house of parliament presently, Lok Sabha presently, 543 members are elected. 543 members are elected in the Lok Sabha, with only exception of Assam. From Assam, 14 members are getting elected. Otherwise, if you see Tripura, Manipur, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh, from these 4 northeastern states, 2 members are elected. Whereas Nagaland, Mizoram and Sikkim, only 1 member is elected in the Lok Sabha. So you can see yourself that representation of northeast in Lok Sabha is so low, and it is low on account of a small size of population, less population. Similarly, if you see the upper house of parliament, Rajya Sabha, and in polity you already have studied that in Rajya Sabha 233 members are elected, members are elected, and they are elected by MLAs, and 12 members are nominated by President. Members are nominated by President. So out of 245, only Assam has representation of 7 in Rajya Sabha. Otherwise, all northeastern state, remaining 7 northeastern state, they have representation of 1 each. So Arunachal Pradesh representation of 1, Mizoram representation of 1, Nagaland representation of 1, Manipur representation of 1, Tripura representation of 1, okay. Then Meghalaya representation of 1, Sikkim representation of 1. Now this is where you need to understand. See, we claim that we have federal polity. In an ideal federal polity, lower house can have differential representation for states based on population, but in the upper house, there must be uniform representation. You see, in US Congress, and by the way, Congress is the name of Parliament of US, 2 houses are there, House of, right, 2 houses are there, House of Representatives and Senate. Senate is the upper house. So in Senate, each state is sending 2 representatives irrespective of the population of the state or the area of the state. But in India, in Rajya Sabha, you will find that states with higher population, they have higher representation, and states with smaller population, they have less representation, which is against the ideal federal principle. So I want you to know this, that our federal structure is different. And sad part of the story, I would say, that even in Rajya Sabha, differential representation to states based on population is against the cardinal principle of federal polity. In a federal polity, at least in upper house, there must be 1 house at union level, at central level, in which equal representation should be given to all states. But both in Lok Sabha as well as in Rajya Sabha, we have differential representation for states, and that is based on population. Now, since differential representation in both the houses based on population, representation of Northeast and representation of states of Northeast in both houses of Parliament is low, and because of this, the people of Northeast have developed a strong feel that their voice goes unheard. Their voice goes unheard. Okay? Their objections are overruled. Their objections are overruled. Their objections are overruled. Okay? Their views are bulldozed. Their views are bulldozed. Their concerns are cornered. Their concerns are cornered. Okay. So they have developed, many people from Northeast over a period of time have developed a feel that since their representation is less in both the houses of Parliament, their voice goes unheard. Their views are bulldozed. Their objections are overruled. their concerns are cornered. And this has been one of the reasons why insurgency is there in the Northeast. They have even seen that if democratically they will demand something in the parliament, it will go unheard. But if they cause violence, then center will come forward for talks. So this is one very important factor responsible for the security threats which we are finding in the northeastern part of India. And this is the reason why many feels that federal polity of India must undergo amendments and changes. And one of the amendment which we should and we must do, that at least in Rajya Sabha, we should ensure that equal representation for states. It is known as Council of States. Rajya Sabha is known as Council of States. So in this house, there must be equal representation for states irrespective of the population or area of the state. So people of Northeast, political parties of Northeast, other stakeholders from Northeast over a period of time have developed a feel that because of less number, because of less representation in both houses of parliament, their voice goes unheard, their objections are overruled, their views are bulldozed, their concerns are cornered. And if we say, if the people from rest of India or the other members of parliament, if they are saying, no, this is not correct, then they are asking some questions for which there is no answer. Now, what questions they are asking? That, okay, why is it so that they are asking the question that why is it so that MISA was enacted, Maintenance of Internal Security Act was enacted in 71, but when when it was reported abuse of MISA was repealed in 77. Okay, so MISA was enacted in 1971, but it was repealed in 1977. Okay, so enacted in 71, repealed in 77. And why it was repealed? Because during national emergency, the country saw abuse of this special law. Okay, similarly, TADA was enacted in 1985 and TADA was repealed in 95. When the abuse of TADA was reported from many parts of India, Maharashtra, right, and many parts, it was repealed. Similarly, POTA was enacted, Prevention of Terrorist Activity Act was enacted in 2002, but it was repealed in 2004. Okay, so enacted in 2002, repealed in 2004. But they are asking that AFSPA, Armed Forces Special Power Act, was enacted in 1958 and till now it has not been repealed, despite that continuously they are saying that there is abuse of power by security forces under AFSPA. Now we are telling them that, see, and when I say we are telling, means central government is telling them that, see, there is insurgency in your region, there is underground movements in your region, and this is the reason why the situation is not allowing us to withdraw AFSPA. Earlier they used to accept this, but today people of Northeast and people of world, they are living in the era of social media, electronic media. They know what is happening in which part of the world. So they are asking question that if you see the intensity of violence, bloodshed or killing, it is less in comparison with left-wing extremism. So if it is less in comparison with left-wing extremism, why not APSPA, Armed Forces Special Power Act, was imposed in Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal? Then there is no answer. Okay, then there is no answer. We used to say that, left-wing extremism is definitely a law and order problem, a security threat, but there is some social angle. So they are asking some questions for which there is no answer. And only thing which people can conclude that since they are less in number, their representation is less, and this is why they have been, their voice has been suppressed or their voice has gone unheard. They are even asking question that why 73 years after independence, capital of northeastern states are not connected with road and connected with railways. So earlier we used to tell them, again I am telling, when I say we, meaning central government used to tell them that see, the geography of your region is not supportive of infrastructural development, and they used to accept. But today they are not accepting this because they can see Konkan Railway. Through Western Ghats, we have, constructed Konkan Railway in India. They can see metro rail in Delhi, where by digging and dredging, we have led a dense network of metro rail in Delhi. They can see the sea link in Maharashtra, Mumbai. In the toughest of the geographical terrain in the world, and even within India, they can see infrastructural developments. And if they are finding it missing in their region, they feel no, right? No, it's not, right? It's not that the geography is to be blamed, but lack of political will of the Prime Minister, the ministers, the different governments is to be blamed. So one big problem, there is dissatisfaction among large section of people in Northeast on account of what? Less representation in parliament, followed by the gradual development of a feel that their voice goes unheard, their objections are overruled, their views are bulldozed, their concerns are cornered, and only way they can force central government to listen to them is by forming rebel groups, and these rebel groups indulging in violence, then only central government will listen to their demand. So this has been one of the important political factors responsible for security threats. And this factor is further getting complicated with what? Right? That different governments have gone for political adventurism. So every government will come